this special event with a woman that shines from a very distant past, biblical Ruth. In Hebrew, Ruth HaMoaviyah. Apropos Hebrew, a preliminary remark. During this short presentation, I will mostly use, for names and places I will mention, the original phonetic pronunciation, which is of course the biblical one, trusting that all of you English speakers are quite familiar with these Hebrew versions of the names. So to the first root, an extraordinary boundary-breaking woman, a statusless immigrant that becomes the great-grandmother of the greatest king of Israel. How does Ruth manage to bypass restrictive norms and create a new reality for herself, to defy social conventions and pave her own path? Well, the story begins as follows. A family from Yehuda immigrates to Moab because of an economic crisis, a famine. Naomi, Elimelech, and their two sons. Firstly, it all goes well, and the two sons marry local girls named Orpah and Ruth. And then disaster strikes. The father and his two sons die. The morning Naomi decides to return home to Bethlehem, where she has relatives and a slim chance to regain family property. She urges Ruth and Orpah to remain in Moab with their parental families. Orpah stays there, but Ruth refuses with these famous resounding words, Ki el asher tilchi elech, ובאשר תליני אלין, עמך עמי, ואלוהיך אלוהי. The two arrive to Bethlehem, to the estate of Boaz, a distant and wealthy relative of the family. They make a meager living from Ruth's gleaning the leftovers in the oat field. So they merely survive. But they want more than that from life. And Naomi puts forward a plan that openly subverts under societal norms. She convinces Ruth to take control and to actively shape the course of events. Ruth agrees. And this is how she acts. She waits for Boaz to fall asleep in the granary, lies down at his feet, and waits for him to wake up. It is not clear what exactly happened then, and if sex was involved, maybe not. We're not told about it very clearly, but it is clear that Ruth chose to make an offer and that Boaz accepted it. And then they get married. And then Ruth gives birth to a son. This son is Oved, the father of Yishai, who is the father of Hamelech David, King David. What emerges from this intriguing biblical story about a woman who dared to take initiative, to act? Well, like many other deep and layered narrative, this narrative too allows for many readings. The story certainly exposes how oppressive and abusive for women life was then. Just a few examples for that. I could bring much more. Ruth and Naomi must pursue male sponsorship and protection in order to survive. Ruth can choose to go to Bethlehem with Naomi, but the price of this choice is to give up her religion and heritage. A woman is redeemed only by giving birth. For sure, it is important to notice these angles of this story, these disturbing angles of this story. But to me, the dominant element that powerfully paints this story to this day is the way it highlights Ruth's and Naomi's power to take control of their life, their astounding agency. Notice, for instance, how many expectations Ruth had defied, how brave she was, how many barriers she overcame. She chose to marry a foreigner. After his death, she chose to leave her privileged status and immigrate with her mother to with her mother-in-law to the unknown, to a foreign land. Then she chose a new partner before he chose her and offered him a relationship. Out of personal strength and composure, she managed to play a bold strategic game that overcame the existing rules and limitations and established new ones. And the Bible made this woman a key figure within King David's dynasty. Even today, it is hard to think of a more challenging message. Ruth's character can still serve as a model that is needed today, perhaps more than ever, for the immense power of female agency.